Social Stories in Token Economy by Katie Britton, Katie Walsh, Allie Oswald, Kathleen Van Arsdale, Kelsey Cook, and Amanda Gillis.
Before diving into our topic, we want to introduce you to each member of our team. Allie is a graduate student at Ball State, pursuing a master's in applied behavioral analysis. She currently works in the field as an RBT at a center in Colorado and has clients ranging from 4 years old to 15 years old. Allie was inspired to work with children who have autism after being introduced to this population in her second job after college graduation. Her goal is to become a BCBA. Amanda is a graduate student at Ball State University, pursuing a master's in applied behavior analysis and certification as a BCBA. She currently works as a music therapist at a school in Georgia that serves students with emotional behavioral disorders, grades K through 12. Amanda has a passion for helping children with special needs and improving the quality of life for all individuals with disabilities. Kathleen is currently pursuing a master's degree in applied behavioral analysis with an emphasis in autism at Ball State University. Kathleen provides habilitative intervention at a developmental disabilities agency in northern Idaho. She has her bachelor's degree in childhood education, but realized she wanted to work one-on-one with children with special needs after student teaching in a 5th grade inclusion classroom. Kathleen's ultimate goal is to become a BCBA. Katie B. is a registered behavior technician, pursuing a master's degree in applied behavior analysis with an emphasis in autism at Ball State University. Katie works at an autism clinic that serves 50 clients daily. She works one-on-one with 3 clients that have a medical diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder. Katie is pursuing her dream of becoming a board-certified BCBA. Katie W. is pursuing her master's in applied behavior analysis at Ball State University. After beginning her career as an accountant, she learned quickly teaching was really what she was meant to do. Her first teaching experience was as an aide in an ABA classroom, which she did for 4 years. Katie now works as an in-home ABA therapist full-time, where she works with children from age 2 up to age 17. Her ultimate goal is to become a BCBA. Kelsey is in her 2nd semester at Ball State University, pursuing a master's degree in applied behavior analysis. After receiving 4 declination letters to graduate school for speech-language pathology, which is her bachelor's degree, life took an unplanned path and led her to discover the wonderful world of ABA. She currently works 2 jobs as an autistic support paraprofessional in a middle school, as well as an in-home therapeutic support staff to a nonverbal 14-year-old. Her ultimate goal is to become a BCBA before starting her own ABA clinic.
Our team was designated to consult for Halls Elementary School. There are 500 students at Hall Elementary, grades pre-K through 3rd grade. Academic issues consist of half of the students function 2 years behind, and the math and reading are the lowest level in the district. Behavior issues such as high frequency of office disciplinary referrals or ODRs, inappropriate hallway behaviors at the beginning of the day, lunchtime, and end of the day. The students run up and down the hallway. Elopement is also an issue where the students run out of the building and students are lost daily. Additional problems, there are limited staff, no funds for additional staff, and inconsistent hallway rules amongst teachers.
It was a group decision to work as the BCBA operating in the school. A BCBA, or Board Certified Behavior Analyst, provides comprehensive behavior analysis and develops intervention programs to target specific behaviors. Other roles may be to conduct a functional behavioral assessment, to develop an intervention plan that utilizes evidence-based practices, to train staff on interventions and monitor the fidelity, to monitor progress and data and make adjustments as needed, and to participate in bi-weekly or monthly meetings with staff.
When deciding which intervention could be most effective, it is essential to recognize what resources were available. Because there is no funding for additional staff, each set of staff members above will serve particular roles in the implementation. Special education teachers and specials teachers will monitor hallways during transition. Regular education teachers will implement social stories in the classroom and track tokens in hallways and give reinforcement. All staff members will use verbal gestural, or physical prompts if needed when redirecting students to remain in line. Clearly, from our scenario at Halls Elementary School, there are two primary issues: elopement and low academic achievement. However, because elopement is a safety concern, it will be targeted first. What is elopement? Elopement is leaving an area without permission or supervision. A student can be seriously injured and is also a safety concern. And our operational definition of elopement includes walking, running, or positioning to 1 feet greater than 1 foot out of line during transitions for greater than 3 seconds. Examples include moving from line to talk to someone in another class. Non-examples include walking away from the line for 1 second and then moving back into line. Why do students elope? What is the function of elopement? Elopement can be used to access social attention or access sensory stimulation of running. Which students are more likely to elope? Research shows that students with developmental or intellectual disabilities are more likely to elope than other students. The two interventions we chose are social stories and token economy. Social stories are written by a teacher, behaviorist, parent, or anyone working with a child that describe appropriate behavior to be demonstrated by the child. The social story answered the questions of when, why, and how in relation to the social skill. Token economy, a contingency based on reinforcement of a behavior. Students earn tokens, then exchange tokens for other reinforcers. The social story was written by the BCBA and describes the appropriate way students are to walk in the hallway. Social stories. The research. Social stories include descriptive, directive, perspective, affirmative, control, and cooperative statements to teach and explain behaviors and behavior change. They can be individualized to a specific group or person. Research has demonstrated the effectiveness of social stories in decreasing problematic behavior. Specifically, in a study conducted on first and second graders, social stories were read 1 or 2 times a day, and each student's problem behavior decreased during intervention. Once the social story was faded out, the behavior still occurred at low rates. We found that because research had been done on the same age group as students we were targeting, it made the usage of social stories in Halls Elementary School even more effective. This is clearly an evidence-based intervention. Intervention plan, social stories. As previously mentioned, the story will be read in each class 3 times per day. Once in the morning, first thing the class does as a whole after morning announcements, then right before lunch, finally it will be read at the end of the day before dismissal. Immediately following each reading, the class will practice hallway walking in the classroom. A few students will role play to serve as a model for the class's appropriate walking transition behavior. The social story will include token economy, the reinforcement, and how the reinforcement will be chosen.
Walking in the hallway is a social story created to decrease problem behaviors during transitions. The teacher will read the story 3 times a day, beginning of the day, before lunch, and at the end of the day. Token economies, the research. Token economies can be used for any size, group, or with individuals. Both parents and teachers demonstrate acceptance of token economy systems with young children. Token economies can be paired with response cost procedures. Both token economies and the combination of the two are more effective than only using response cost. Response cost was not incorporated in this intervention because the BCBA wanted to move away from punishment model, focus on reinforcement, and also make the intervention simple for teachers. Adding one less component increases the chances of higher treatment fidelity. Each class will earn tokens as a whole class during transition periods, starting with 10-second intervals and increased once mastered. This time was determined by the BCBA as easily attainable so that the class could earn reinforcement quickly to contact the contingency of the token economy. Teachers will carry a test tube and tokens. They will put tokens in the tube every 10 seconds there is not an elopement. Once 10 seconds pass, the motivator will vibrate to signal that the token is available. When the teacher places a token in the tube, he or she must provide behavior-specific praise. An example is, "Nice job walking in a straight line in the hall. You have earned a token." Transitions from classes last about 2 minutes, so 12 tokens could be earned at every transition. Reinforcement will be given after 10 tokens. initial reinforcement will be earned immediately. Some examples include tangibles, stickers, hand stamps, and verbal praise. Teachers will look at data at the end of the week, and if the initial target is mastered, 3 or more days at 80%, the reinforcement will be increased the following week. Teachers will determine reinforcement with students' input. A way to do this is to write a list of item board and then provide students the opportunity to vote on what they want to earn. This will be established each week. Teachers will take daily data based on how many tokens their class earned. The materials for token economy include a token goal board, token tower, motivator, and a data sheet. The token goal board will be displayed at the front of the room for all students to see. During hallway transitions, the teacher will carry the token tower and the motivator. The motivator will vibrate at timed intervals. If all students walk appropriately during the interval, the teacher will place a token in the token tower. The data sheet will allow the teacher to document the time of transition or not the social story was read before the transition, the number of tokens earned, time interval, and the number of elopements, if any. The data sheet also allows space for teacher to document the reward earned after 10 tokens.
We chose to pilot 3 classes for intervention. We specifically chose preschool, kindergarten, and first grade because the youngest students have the highest rate of inappropriate hallway behavior and elopement. Intervention will be implemented for 9 weeks before any evaluation of data is taken place to determine future training. Implementation will begin on a Monday. The follow-up will be determined to see if intervention was successful. And if the intervention is successful, then the remaining teachers will be trained on how to implement the intervention. Reinforcement for their participation in the training includes a drawing for an early release pass and a goodie bag containing small token reinforcers. This slide presents the schedule for the first staff training, including explaining the intervention plan via the manual or PowerPoint, modeling the intervention, including a video that demonstrates the correct way to implement the intervention, a role play with staff, and then a game titled What to Do Differently, which requires staff to verbalize what was incorrect in the video and to then role play the correct way to implement the intervention. Then an exam will be taken to ensure that each staff member who will be part of the implementation process understands the intervention thoroughly. This will help aid in higher treatment fidelity. The following video is an example of how to correctly implement the social story. After the video, we will discuss any questions you may have. We will then role play and everyone will get a chance to practice implementing the social story and token economy. Welcome, class! I'm glad you all made it to school safely. Now it's time to read our social story. Hallway rules. At school, I need to follow the hallway rules. In the hallway, I need to walk and stay with my class. I need to keep my eyes forward looking at the teacher. I need to keep a bubble in my mouth. I need to keep my hands and feet to myself. My teacher is happy when I follow the rules. It will also help my class earn tokens. When we follow hallway rules and earn tokens, we get to do something fun. Nice job walking and looking at me. You've earned a token for walking nicely in the hallway for 10 whole seconds. Nice job, class.
Created using Powtoon.
We will watch 3 videos on implementing the intervention. We will discuss how the intervention was implemented incorrectly, and at the end of the videos, prizes will be awarded for whoever responds and models how to correctly implement the particular aspect of the intervention.
Hi kids, good morning. So first thing we're going to do today, now that the bell's rung, is we're going to talk about walking nicely in the hallway. I have a little social story to show you. We had ones that were given to all the teachers. I didn't really like it, so I just wrote up my own. Just really simple directions, no big deal. Basically, all we need to do is walk nicely and keep our hands down. That's really it. So let's do a great job, okay?
Okay, boys and girls, real quick before we go to lunch. Shh, quiet, please. Who remembers the story that we read yesterday for the first time? Raise your hand. Okay, good. That's most of you. So just a reminder before we go to lunch. 3 things about hallways. We are not touching our friends. We are not talking. And we are not facing any way but forward. Does everybody understand? Okay, good. You may line up at the door for lunch.
Okay, friends, let's walk to the lunchroom. What did you make there? Have a good lunch.
At the end of the 9 weeks, we will analyze the data and decide if the intervention was successful. This will be determined by analyzing if 80% of transitions occurred without elopement. More information is on the following slide. If the intervention was successful, we will schedule a training for additional staff to implement the intervention. The BCBA will provide questionnaires for the staff on the effectiveness of the intervention, and any feedback will be used to alter intervention as needed. This diagram demonstrates the requirements to move forward in training, as well as what type of feedback will be received from staff. Looking at the data, we will answer the question, did 80% of transitions occur without elopement? We will receive feedback from teachers as far as what went well, what was difficult, was the intervention easy to implement? If not, why? Do you feel the intervention was successful? Explain, and etc. Successful intervention would then result in training additional staff members to implement the intervention later on. A couple days before the follow-up training, the questionnaire to the left will be distributed to the teachers who participated in the pilot intervention. Responses will be analyzed and graphed. In addition, 20 minutes of the follow-up has been designated to receiving specific feedback from staff. The BCBA will present the overall data from the 9 weeks to the staff present at the training, and this should facilitate discussion. As you are implementing the intervention, you may have questions that arise, such as, what if it takes several weeks to progress in the reinforcement schedule? Am I doing something wrong? It is possible that you're implementing with full integrity, yet the preferable items are not serving as reinforcers. Meet with the BCBA to discuss possible issues. What happens if one child continues to elope and ruins the opportunity at reinforcement for the whole class? This is something that will be discussed as it occurs. The program was intentionally planned to target the group. Ideally, the pressure for everyone to meet the requirements in order to succeed will encourage each student to do well with hallway transitions.